Today we're going to be talking about the best B build for the Mage. If you're watching this now on YouTube, just know that I'm most likely going to be live on Twitch when this is uploaded. So feel free to check out my Twitch because I should be live the second this video goes live, which is a Twitch TV slash the guitarist 562, or just check the description box. Without further ado, I know I posted the best A build, but now let's go over the best B build for the Mage. So for the Mage, I know the best one is going to be the Spell Slinger, but the best B wand for the Mage is actually going to be one that's inside of it's the Assault Trooper's wand at the moment because it's easier to gain access to. You should be able to see these on the market fairly quickly. This is actually the second B wand that you're going to want to get in the meantime. Um, but to be honest, the best B wand is actually the Ancient Priestess Mage's wand because it's the same thing as a Spellslinger. But the reason I'm not putting it in the as the best wand is because unlike the other wand, which is an open world, this is actually you get this wand from crafting through an artisan, which is in your estate. You have to find the actual recipe, and afterwards you have to find the materials to actually put in to have a chance to craft this weapon. And with so much, gear on the market, it's not really worth waiting around for this one to hit the market when the spell slinger is so much better. Um, but with that said, the best B offhand right here, I'm gonna show you is, let's see, I would say this one as well, but that's also another craft. Let's see, let's go through these. These are all A. Let's see, concentrate, concentrate. These all say concentrate. Honestly, I would just play around with whatever B orb that you get in the meantime, because the best one I still say would be the A one. That's what I would be waiting out for, which is the defensive orb. So going on to the next piece of gear, let's go cloth. Let's see all the B gear that's in open world. Don't worry about that. That's also another artisan that's crafted inside the estate. So let's see, flame wave, mining, logging, HP, critical hit rate. No, those are A pieces of gear. Scar's headdress. It's this one, but that's on ancient chest recipe craft. And that's the hard part because there's nobody that can craft that most likely on PS4 right away. And if there is, they're gonna be charging a crazy amount of star seeds for it. Um, So I guess I would settle for the headdress of the Prophet in the meantime, and if you see the eye patch of Ancient Eternity, that's what I'd be kind of going for. Remember, these are not very good. They're just kind of to get you by. If you look, there's other ones on the market or hidden, but you can't really see them. So just any of those will do in the meantime. Just hold on to that empty gear score until you get to the hardest stuff. The Robe of Ancient Eternity. Let's see, Robe of the Prophet. This is the one I recommend early on in the game to get your gear score and have at least some basic defense until you get onto the later levels. So Robe of the Prophet. This is also found in open world. Just kill a couple of mobs, maybe open a couple of boxes, and you'll see that. I wouldn't use HP one necessarily because I'd rather you be tankier. You don't need shards. I do recommend this if you want to go through the game and try to level up. You get more XP, but this is also an ancient chest recipe craft. I know I keep saying stuff like that. What is ancient chest recipe craft? But it's really like you find a treasure chest around the entire open world. Hope for that. It's a bigger chest than the regular chest. That give you bag space, and it gives you like a recipe. And then once you open the recipe, you're gonna go in and try to craft it. Now let's go for the leg armor. Skip all of the A leg armor, and we're gonna look for the best B legs, which is gonna be another like flame wave right here. We got leg armor of the strategist. Let's see what else. There should be another one. Scryer's leg armor. There's a Scryer's leg armor, which is another ancient. Anything with the word Scryer is probably an ancient chest or recipe craft. You don't need any of this. So again, try to use the flame wave one in the meantime. Or you could just pretty much use the leg armor of the seer, which is the stamina one, which gives you an extra stamina. So, flame wave or leg armor of the seer. Boots, there's also going to be, again, the Scryer's boots, but again, ignore that because unless it's on your market, that's what I would go for. Uh, that is the Scryer. So basically, everything Scryer's similar to what the Mage is using for A gear, which is like Grand Seer. So those are basically the best boots. I don't know if that's gonna hit your market yet. But until then, let's see. See, here goes the Scryer boots. Started come pre-upgraded, gives you extra attack power. I would use the boots of the strategist, which gives you crit rate. Um, or the boots of the prophet. I mean, if you're using the legs that have give you stamina, then rock these. But and, you know, to be consistent, but use crit rate to constantly keep critting until you have your amplify. Ignore all of these because you don't need them. Boots of Ancient Eternity, you don't need that. Gloves. Now for the gloves, we're skipping past all the A gloves, and here goes the Scryer gloves again. Reduce Arcane Lightning, don't need that. I would actually be using the gloves of the Prophet. The gloves of the Prophet give you extra attack, or the gloves of the Seer. Those are actually the only B gear items that are not consistent with the Scryer gear. So I would use the critical hit damage. So when you amplify, your crit damage is 100% crit rate and gives you the extra damage. Or if you're not on amplified up, you have the increased attack power of 313. Try to get a perfect roll. Everything else is doo-doo. You don't want any of this. Shoulder guards. Now let's go over the shoulder guards and let's see what B gear is the best. There you go. Shoulder guards of Ancient Eternity. This is an artisan craft again. You won't reach this until you get estates or somebody already has an estate. And you just have to wait a while for it. So in the meantime, I would actually be using, let's see, A gear, ignore all that. The Scryer's shoulder guards or the shoulder guards of the Seer. When I went through the game before all A gear was out, I actually used the shoulder guards of the Seer for extra defense. I got a max roll of 1149. Firebomb is pretty cool. You're going to be using that a lot once you get to Crescent Moon. So think about that. But if you want to be tankier, use this in the meantime until you get to the A gear equipment. But that's it for that B gear on there. The belt. Let's go over the belts. Let's see, here comes the Scryer's belt. Arcane Blink restores 2.7 blank max HP. That's pretty dope. I do recommend it. It's kind of like the Placid Mage belt, but not until you get, you know, to the later ones. Belts of the Prophet's actually really good. So 5.21. So let's look at the last couple of pieces of B gear just to make sure everything's consistent. We have the Belt of the Strategist, which gives you potion buff duration. Now Belt of Ancient Eternity, which is critical hit damage. That belt's going to be pretty nasty for the mage. It's going to be, I'm sure in the dungeons later on, it's going to give you an A piece of gear during the Abbeys, and it's going to come out with a critical hit damage belt for mages. But to be consistent, so for B gear, I would use the Belt of the Prophet. So you have the helmet that gives you the critical hit rate, your boots that give you critical hit rate, and you have the Belt of the Prophet, which gives you critical hit rate. So you can like basically hit your crits when you're not buffed up. I mean, with Amplify. So when you're building, again, if you have your B items, do build for 9 whites and 9 reds, so you can have the Reward Necklace and the Desert Song Ring, which is all like gear that you get from dungeon drops. Always pre-build your gear to be working in advance. And know that when you're going in open world, you do get gear for other characters, so save those pieces of gear. Don't salvage them, so you can just transfer them over in your account storage. But that's pretty much it. That's the best gear that you can use for the B gear. So just kind of give you like a walkthrough. So just to go by quickly again one more time, we're going to get the headdress of the Prophet. Or the Scryer's headdress. Scryer's headdress is the best. Robe of the Prophet. Leg armor of, this, let me double check. I forget the name. Leg armor of the Seer, if I'm not mistaken, and leg armor of the Strategist. Those are the pretty good ones. But just to kind of emphasize what I was talking about recipes. When you go through your recipes, there's cloth armor recipes when people are more established in the game. So that's the only way you can get these pieces of gear. But you need the materials to be able to craft them. So once you get that whole full B gear set up, that's the best build that you're going to be using for the mage. But if you come down here, you need to have this leveled up to level 10 to be able to actually, maximize your gains, to be able to craft all this stuff. So here's all the B gear that you can craft. For example, oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm on the the metal class. I apologize. They come down here and go to the recipe list that you don't have, and this is where you get everything. For example, the Scryer's leg armor, Scryer's shoulder guards, Scryer's robe. I do recommend this, by the way. If that shows up in your market, use that for the entirety of you leveling up, because it does come in pretty huge. But the only thing that you're really going to be using from the Scryer set is going to be the head and the boots. This is pretty nifty to have, so you don't have to waste pots if it pops up. But other than that, you're fine. Use that setup to be able to be the best useful mage for B gear. And you'll be pretty much established for the rest of the game. So that pretty much ends this video. If you do have any questions, feel free to comment and ask your questions down below. I'm going to be here for the next 2 weeks to make sure that PS4 gets situated really well. And I'm going to be uploading daily video content so you guys pretty much see what you can and can't do. Some more guides. Today specifically, I'm going to be coming out some more information for you guys to quickly level up and understand, the game and what you can and can't do and what you should and shouldn't do. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Follow the socials, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, which is the Guitarist562. And that's pretty much it, guys. Take it easy and have a good one.